Hi everyone, it's Kristi. Welcome back. I want to work on a few pieces of ephemera for our canvas wrap journal. If you remember, we used a piece of canvas. We've got pockets here. This when closed should measure approximately 6 by 9. But I want to make some cards for here and here that'll kind of give it some stability. And then I think I'm going to use a piece of just writing paper in here, so it'll be more flexible than a stiff card. And then I want to make a couple of tucks and a couple of pockets, and yeah, and then I will put everything together and do a flip through, and we'll be on to our next project. This isn't going to have a lot of ephemera because it's just a basic journal, kind of a back to basics, if you will. I'm just going to do some journal cards and some pockets and tags, and very basic, very simple, because I don't want it to be too bulky. I want it for, basically a writing journal. So anyway, I've cut these pieces 5 by 7.5, and yeah, oh gosh, I wish I would keep track. These are really, really difficult to see which way is up. The writing I'm not familiar with, and there's not enough printing on here, so sometimes I'm looking at the flowers. I suppose it doesn't matter. If I can't tell, it probably doesn't matter. But I'm going to round the corners on these because I think, if I can find my corner rounder, because I think it'll be easier to get them out in and out of the pocket if the corners are rounded. So I'm going to use my 1/2 inch side. And I think I will sew around this, and maybe I'll put just a piece of lace or something at the top as a decoration. It doesn't need to be too elaborate. Because this is just a basic. Now, I got this idea from Tracy Fox, and she made them as art journals. So let's see. Let's just do a little piece of trim. I don't want it to be where there's a pocket, so I want that word to show. Let's do it on the side here. And I'm just gonna excuse me, tack it down with my glue stick, because I am gonna sew over that. But that way, and that will be completely dry by the time I get to my machine. Yeah, I use glue stick all the time in quilting because I do paper piecing, and yeah, that's where my glue stick comes in handy. But that'll hold it down just until I get to the machine, so nothing too elaborate. Let's do this one at the top. And then I probably want to ink around the edges as well. These papers have so much going on that you really don't need to add a lot, because the papers are so beautiful. I want them to show. So let's ink. I probably should have inked that before I put the ribbon on, but that's okay. Because I do want to ink the edges, and I want to ink the back side as well. I missed this spot. I think I went over too far with my glue. Oops. There we go. Okay. I did not print anything on the back of these because, you could use it as a regular writing journal, but if you're going to use it as an art journal, sometimes it's better to have some more blank surfaces. And not everything needs to be decorated to the hilt. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that. You know, I like decorations. And I love it when I see, you know, books that are like that. But sometimes it's good to have a basic journal. So I hope everyone's doing well. It's Wednesday, halfway through the week. Well, we're 3 days in. So, all right, that goes this way. Yeah, okay. And then I just have this piece of writing paper. This is one that I just trimmed down, so I'll go ahead and ink that up a little bit. Like I said, there's a lot going on with these papers. You don't have to do a lot to them. I'm not sure that you'll even notice if it's inked up. But on this side, we will. So I just want to go down this crease and down this crease. And we'll just go around the edges lightly. And I also don't worry that every square, I was going to say square inch, but every, you know, measurement on the edge is covered. I mean, if we're going for aged and vintage, it wouldn't be completely surrounded, it would be bits and pieces. So I'm just going to fold that there. And, you know, I think I'm going to round these corners as well, because, like I said, I think it'll just help get them in and out of the pocket without getting stuck. Because it's not, the canvas is not as stiff as I would like. Make sure I'm on the right side. Well, that didn't work. Am I on the right side? Yeah, let's try that again. There we go. I think I must have pulled it back out. Okay, let's see. I hardly ever use the 1/4 inch side unless I'm using like a small piece of ephemera. I really like. There again, I'm trying to find. I think this is the top. Okay, so let's see. I can go ahead and put these in here. I have not sewn in the signature yet, but I will. So this will go in this pocket, like that. And these will go in these pockets. Like that. And I am going to sew around those, not this, but those. I am not going to put any lace on the edges here because it's a wraparound journal, but I think I may add a few pieces here and there to the bottom, just to give it a little something something. Okay, so there's that. So let's make a couple of pockets. The journal cards are made, let me show you what piece I use. This kit comes with, I think if I remember correctly, now the kit I have says royal blue and vintage rose, but I believe on the Etsy shop it says navy blue and vintage roses, but I believe there were 3 kits, and I got all of them because the shop was having issues with their government not allowing them to sell so many kits, and they were selling so quick, so they would have to shut down. So when I went in there, I thought, I'm going to buy it all right now while the shop is open. And so I bought everything that was that looks like this, and I think it may be called navy blue and vintage roses, but some of what I have says royal blue, so, but I believe it's the same set, but I think there's 2 ephemera and then there's a background. But one of them has these file folders, and so this is what I've used for, I use this piece for the journal card, and then I'm using this piece for the pockets, and I still have a ton of stuff left over. So I have a couple of tags here to go in my pockets. So isn't that beautiful? I love the rose. Okay, so these are 5 inches, so I'm going to do 2.5, and I'm going to punch my little pocket thingamajigger. And the writing's sideways on this, so I suppose it doesn't really matter. So 2.5. Okay, and then for my tags here, I'm just going to go ahead and punch some holes here. Let's see, let's do it on the 3/8 side, like so. Alright, so then we'll ink these. Whoop, it's stuck in my watch. Okay, just really quickly, just basically to get that white edge off from cutting, and then we'll go around on this side. Okay, I will fast forward this part. Okay, so let's put some lace on the bottom of these pockets, and I want to use the 3-in-1 for this. Although, you know what? I'm gonna sew around these too. Let's sew around these. So let's just use the glue stick. I'm gonna let it hang off the bottom just a touch. Just barely. Got a little bit of glue there. Rub that off. Okay, this one. There again, just letting that hang off a tad. Well, that one's a little bit more, but there we go. Okay, so those need to be sewn around, and we've got a couple of tags over here. I don't think I'm going to sew around the tags, but let's put a little bit of this in there. I'm using this one for this journal. I'm not using any seam binding. So I do like the crochet thread goes with the, ooh, I'm not going to be able to do that way. It goes with the canvas. The seam binding I have is, they both say beige, but one is gray and one is pink. And I guess I could have used the pink one, but I think this will be cool. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And that will go in one of those pockets. And because this is so textured, I'm just doing a half knot and it'll stay. It also puts that knot right on the front of the tag. Kind of reminds me of a lop-eared rabbit. Okay, so we've got our 2 pockets, our 2 tags, and then over here I've got some this, and I have cut out a little bit because I measured wrong, but this was a piece from the kit that you could use pretty much for anything. I think on the other journal I used it for a little booklet cover, or you could use it for a tuck, and I decided to cut it in half and use it for a tuck, side tucks in this journal. So I'm just going to ink those real quick. Okay, and then while I have the ink, I'll go ahead and ink these. You know what? I'm going to round these journal cards. Actually, I think I'll trim these after I sew them because I don't want to pull that back up. So I'll sew these on. And then the last thing I have, this is just a little piece that I am going to use, and I'll leave a link below to Tracy's video, but she just has a little tiny little piece on here, and with a little charm, and I think I'll put the charm in the tie here, and then just put this little piece on the bottom. So I'm going to sew that on so it has that little black accent, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we have our journal cards here. I'm going to say this goes this way with the bar on the left. I only had my thread break once. Yay! I'm not buying this thread again. I bought it on Amazon, and I don't know. I've got, so here's the other one. And then I've got these tucks. I want to cut around this corner here. Just want to get that little tiny piece off. I guess it doesn't matter. Here's another one that has just a little bit of overage. These scissors don't like to cut at the bottom, or not the bottom, the tip. They have that big old fat tip. And my micro tip scissors are, I got cement or something on them. So here's the little focal point for the front. I did not sew on these, and I guess I could have done the same thing that I did to the large ones and just sewn a little piece on there. And then I did not sew around the tags, just the two pockets, but I think that's sufficient. So I am going to put this all together, and I'll be back next time with a flip through. So thanks for watching, everyone.